Once again, I'm Joe Stevens.
And I am LTT Moose.
And we are the Equestrian Inquirer for Everfree Network here at Las Pegasus Unicon. And we have yke Hendrikse with us. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And it's yke, of course. We have to say yke.
Yep.
Yke. Now, it may look different. It's yke.
Yeah, there's two incarnations that I accept. One's yke and one's Marika. Marika? No.
No Marika.
No Marika.
Yke.
Is there what nationality does that stand from? Where does that name originate from?
It's Dutch. And my mother liked it. My grandfather was Dutch. But no, it was just a coincidence. My mom just liked the name.
So we've got a Dutch griffin here with us. I don't know if that's necessarily what her characteristic is on the show, but you play the character Gilda, the griffin, on the show.
Yep.
And so that's one of those characters that has seemed to really resonate with a lot of people. The villains of the show, people love the villains of this show. They're very compelling and they're very interesting characters.
Yeah, you're right. They're interesting to play.
So, do you like playing villains, or do you like playing? You like playing villains?
I particularly like playing villains. I find something that I love in every character that I play, really and truly. And I do like playing, regular girls, kind of good girls or whatever.
Right.
The hero of the show. But I really do like sinking my teeth into a villain.
It's fun now and then to just sort of cop an attitude just because you can, because you're the bad person.
Totally, and they're always so well written.
Right.
Villains and interesting and funny,
Well, they've said that there's a standard in writing, villains act, heroes react. So it's like the villains who are the ones who are pushing the story forward.
That's, what? I've never heard that before. I think that's kind of true.
So you were in charge of that episode. That was the Gilda.
I'm going to say yes. I was in charge of that episode. I was completely in charge. I directed it.
Yeah, all the credits should have read, yes.
This is my name, no credits.
So we'll go back to that. It's been some years since that show aired.
Absolutely, it was in season 1.
It's in season 1. Now, so back when you were recording, obviously it's a long time before when you record an episode before it actually airs.
Yep.
So the show had not even premiered yet.
Nope.
And so someone comes up to you and says, "We have this part. It's for a show called My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic." What was your reaction to that when you were going to do for that show?
Well, I had done a couple of incarnations of My Little Pony. There's been some DVDs over the years and things like that, so I had been on them before and also familiar with the franchise from a toy perspective. So when I had the opportunity to audition for a character, it was something different, obviously, because she's mean,
right,
a villain, and all that other stuff. So that was kind of cool. But at the time, of course, like you said, it hadn't aired. Nothing had aired. There was no hint of the phenomenon that the show has become.
It's become fantastic, yeah. And so you walk into the recording booth. What kind of preparation did they give you? Did they show you a picture of Gilda, what she was going to look like?
For the audition?
For the audition, yes.
Yeah, we did. I think we did see it. I'm pretty sure I saw a picture. But I knew what she was, even if I didn't see. I think I did, but even if I didn't, I knew what she was. I knew she was a half griffin, half lion, or half eagle, half lion.
Right.
The definition of a griffin, yeah.
Exactly. the actual thing what it is.
Well, here she's got a little dolphin in her, but it's not visible. It's sort of like
on her mother's side, and really she only observes Christmas, and that's
seriously. So yes, we saw a picture, and then you get a certain portion of the script to read in the audition, and they direct you through the audition and ask you for things that they'd like to hear. And that's generally how it went, and so I just happened to be the person that booked the part. So.
And did they give you any preparation under the show itself, or was it a self-contained, just this character, just this part?
Just this character, just this episode. I knew what kind of the whole thing was because I'd auditioned initially to play one of the the main ponies. I didn't book any of those parts, obviously.
Can we hear your audition for which part you wrote?
I don't even know. I have no idea. Which I probably auditioned for. I would imagine I probably auditioned for Twilight Sparkle. Mm-hmm. I probably auditioned for Rainbow Dash, and I probably auditioned for maybe Pinkie Pie. I think those are probably the ones I would have auditioned for. Maybe. Anyways, I don't remember. It's after however 20 some odd years, you start to forget. It's also a skill that you need to develop as an actor. Forget about the auditions. Just forget about them. Move on. Audition. Leave.
Right, and you can't.
Otherwise, you become that bitter person sitting in the bar. I could have been Rainbow Dash. I could have been.
This was my Pinkie Pie.
Yeah, and
this was Pinkie Pie worked out.
You do, and you dwell, and you cannot. The number of auditions that I might go to in a week, I can't think about that. Right. It's gone. It's over. There's nothing I can do about it now. So you just forget about it. It's self-preservation, really and truly. Yeah. Well, it's usually when my agent calls me, Ralph, who's awesome, when he calls to tell me that I booked a part, either on a cartoon or on a commercial, because I do some radio and TV ads as well. When he calls to book me on them, my reaction usually to myself is, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And it's genuine. It really is genuine. I've forgotten about it. It's a good thing.
Well, that's a good segue into where did you get your start as a voice actress?
So my first real job, I had done a few things here and there, but what really kind of solidified my career and continued it, like the momentum, started the real momentum of my career, was I did the lead in an animated series called Blaster's Universe. I played this alien kid named GC. That was the first thing.
Well, and how did you get involved in getting into that part itself?
So what happened was it was kind of a couple things that happened, but first I was doing a play, and I had been asking my agents to do voiceover, but it's kind of a hard niche to get into, so
right.
they I don't know what happened. This was not my current agent. Anyways, I had asked, and then I was doing a play, and in the play I had to cry like a baby on the side of the stage. My character as a baby was being taken away and taken away from its mother. So the director thought it would be cool if I did the vocalizations of the baby. And my agents came to see the play and were like, oh my God, you should be doing voice work, because I guess the baby cry was so realistic. And so that kind of gave them some confidence to submit me. I also took a workshop pretty much simultaneously with a casting director in Toronto, which is where I'm from, though I live and work in Vancouver now. And taking that workshop was great because she obviously, I guess, saw some things that were useful in me, that castable.
There you go.
And that's how it started. So then I was lucky to book that first thing.
And so did you, for when you wanted to become an actor, you wanted to become a voice actress, like from the beginning? Or?
No, I've just always wanted to be a performer in whatever way that was going to be possible for me. I started kind of working towards this when I was 5. I always knew what I wanted to do. I focused on dance initially, did some theater, did some things like that, and then made the transition to focus on acting, just acting itself, in my teens. And then...
So you were going for the triple threat at the very beginning there.
It was, yeah. I really liked musical theater and stuff like that, so I did sort of focus on the triple threat thing. And then, once you get busy in voice work, it's really satisfying, and, you make, you can pay the bills, you make a living. And oftentimes it makes...
Cranks the generator every now and then, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Sometimes it leaves me too busy to do other projects.
Right.
Because I'm expected to be at the sessions that I'm booked on every Monday or every Tuesday or whatever it is. So over the last, 10 years, maybe a little longer than 10 years, I've solely focused on voice. That's all I've done. I did a play actually just a little while ago, which was crazy, but anyways.
So you do a lot of voice acting.
I do.
You do a lot in the anime world
I do, yeah.
as well. And so what is the difference really in doing an anime where you're dubbing over previously done animation versus what you did for Gilda and other shows where you walk in, you have maybe just a picture and a script and you have to create that?
Yeah, there's a big difference. Dubbing is very, very, very challenging. You work in a very confined area to deliver your lines, and by that I mean there are flaps because the pictures already exist, right? The animation already exists, and you've got to fit the writing, the English writing, into your into the flaps that are originally most times Japanese. Hopefully the writer's done a good job, and they usually do. They do usually do a pretty darn good job of
translations,
the translation, and then the writer to make sure that the flaps are fairly reasonable. But still, you are confined within someone else's performance. So making that your own is super challenging and a skill that takes some time for some people to develop. In terms of prelay, the stuff that you're asking about, where you do the animation first, the voice work first, and then they animate after, it's called prelay. And it's totally free because you are creating something that then inspires the animators. So
And your reactions will inspire the way that they draw the character.
Exactly. If you choose to laugh somewhere where they didn't expect it, then they get to draw the character laughing.
And is there a vice versa thing going on where you'll watch the animation of a anime episode and you'll get inspired to do different things because of the animation versus when you came in you had this idea of what the script... No, do you see it, or when do you see it? Do you see the visual, or you get the script first?
In dubbing?
In dubbing.
You get the script first, and you have no idea what's going on because there's no direction, i.e., there's nothing setting up the scene. There's no so-and-so walks over here and lights a fire. There's none of that. It's just lines. It's just line, and time code. And so you've kind of no idea what's going on. This is the reason why a lot of people don't read their dubbing scripts. I'm a nerd and I read my dubbing scripts because it's kind of like you don't know what the hell's going on. Anyways, and then you come in and you go, oh, that's what's happening. She's lighting a fire. So you do get a context for the performance and a storyline sometimes from viewing the picture. And the picture is in front of you. You have the microphone, you have your stand. That's all normal, like every other recording session, whether you're doing commercials or prelay. And then you've got the TV in front of you. So you got to watch the scripts because you don't memorize, obviously. So you watch the script, you got to watch the screen, and you got to watch the time code as well. So make sure you're fitting everything in.
And with your fourth hand and fourth eye, you're moving the script,
That's
right?
right. Yeah, totally. With my eight octopus appendages.
And so obviously you sound like you like the ones where you are able to bring your own take to it, or is it which one do you prefer? Or
You prefer to be directed, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I really like both. The thing that I like about I love the freedom of being able to create something that's mine.
You can laugh when you want, and they animate it if
that's
they
right.
want. Yeah,
That's right. Or whatever. But the thing that's really cool about doing dubbing work is the material of dubbing work is sometimes more challenging. Not challenging. That's the wrong word. Something to sink your teeth into. You know, when you compare some of the characters when I compare some of the characters that I played in anime. That's not Saturday morning cartoon material. And
No.
So you really get.
I think we were just watching clips of Black Lagoon for a little while there, so not quite the thing that they would be selling.
Next on the hub, bleep, bleep,
I
bleep,
mean,
bleep, 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 bleep,
it's
bleep.
not happening. You would never hear any vocals.
No.
You never hear anything. So that is something that really I quite like about doing dubbing work, is the material itself.
Would you like to see more on the Western animation side? Because I know Eastern animation, from Japan, from Korea, from China, it's at a completely different level. Animation is accepted as a different sort of performance.
It's a dramatic art form.
It's a dramatic
as opposed
art
to
form.
just for children.
Right. Whereas
Matter supports that.
Yeah.
Right. And so, would you like to see Western animation sort of graduate? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to shove the mic in your face as you were drinking.
It's the desert dryness. I would like that. I actually would like to see, prelay that is very filmic in nature. These crazy story arcs, these like really interesting things about, gangsters or whatever life things that, again, you don't get in a Saturday morning cartoon. Not to put down a Saturday morning cartoon, because there's nothing more fun than going to a studio and doing a Saturday morning type cartoon. It's just hilarious and light and I can't remember who says this. It's like it's serious work done lightly. I think that's what it, or is it light work done seriously? No, it's the opposite.
Well, the interesting thing,
anyway, so that's really joyful too. But I would love material that is like a real story arc.
Well, the interesting thing
More
is
mature, I
when you
suppose.
look at the cast list of My Little Pony and even the Black Lagoon and other things, a lot of it's the same people. A lot of it's the same voice actors. And so
It is.
you're in the studio with Andrea Libman talking about Pinkie Pie and being mean to her, and then you're in another studio with the same people shooting them in the face.
Yeah, that's right. You're totally right, and it seems so strange. Ashley Ball plays a character in Black Lagoon that is creepy as all get out. You know what storyline I'm talking about, I think. And you're right. You work with people, and we do work fairly. There's a group of people that work regularly, and you work with them. You could be shooting them in the face, and the next day you're
singing about friendship.
Like letting balloons go in the air and making.
Don't ever mix the two. Shooting people in the face while they're singing about friendship.
No,
could be,
totally. The balloons will pop.
Yeah. Well, and so you've had a chance see the show. It premiered a couple of years ago. Now you're kind of branching out into this. Your first pony convention.
Yeah.
Now that you've had a chance to kind of see what the fan show, what was your reaction when you saw the huge influx of a fan appreciation for Gilda and the show itself?
Well, it surprises me that Gilda, there is some, there's, some antagonism because she made Fluttershy cry, which is totally...
That's almost anathema to anybody in the fandom. If you make Fluttershy cry, that's it. You're unforgivable.
Yeah, it's kind of warranted because she's so cute and sweet. But I wasn't particularly surprised. It's a familiar scene to me, given working in anime work, doing anime work. So it's sort of similar.
So you weren't when you walked in there, play this Griffin, see Ashley and Owen playing these ponies. You were not surprised. You walked in there thinking that this was going to be a hit.
No, I didn't know that it was going to be a hit.
Ah, okay.
I didn't know. I mean, you can never be sure of anything.
Right.
Especially in working as an actor, you can never be sure. But I wasn't surprised at the type of fans and the type of outpouring of affection and fandom for the show, simply because I compared it to anime stuff.
Right.
Was I surprised that it was My Little Pony that became that? Sort of. I mean,
right.
You never
could've
know.
thought that?
And that's the interesting part, is that you never know what's going to be that show.
No, I was going to say, you've been to, several different conventions, I'm sure, for your anime dub work, and, this being your first pony convention. I mean, what would you say was the biggest, difference between sort of like going to the anime cons and, what you've experienced here?
That's interesting. One of the things is there's little kids here. There's a couple of little kids here, which is
that's
obviously the
fun.
target
Yeah.
audience of My Little Pony, which is cute.
We love the age ranges. We get the people that just have a lot of fun for kids of all ages.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
you notice in the hub, when they first premiered it, they said for girls of all ages. And now they say for kids of all ages.
Yeah.
And now they also say watch it with or without your kids. We won't tell.
Oh, well, they're smart to pick up on that stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. I think part of the thing, too, is that because it's such a joyful show, again, this is about the material, the content of stuff, the people that are here, there's a real spirit of joy and friendship, and I know that sounds really corny, but they're really...
We're here at a convention for multicolored ponies. There's no such thing as corny.
And that's true. Thank you for that support. I appreciate it. So that's sort of the difference. Like, there's a bit of energy. Not that everybody's, like, running around, like, shooting each other or something horrible at, like, anime cons, but there is a difference in energy, and I think that's different from
People break out into song. People will
haven't
just
heard that.
hugging each. Okay, well then we need to have a breakout into song moment on that. Gilda never got a chance to sing. I think she
didn't.
needed a song. She needed to talk about making Fluttershy cry in song form.
Have you been able to sing in any of your other work?
Yes. What have I sung in? I hear Kathy in the background.
Yeah.
What have I've sung a couple times, but I can't remember what. I know that's stupid. I'm actually singing. I'm doing a feature-length film, and I've record the songs for it on Tuesday. I can't talk about what it is, but no, I have sung a couple times, but not that many times.
Right. Well, I know you can't talk about it, but I know our viewers would be mad at me for not at least bringing it up, the fact that Gilda has not returned yet. But we would love to see Gilda return, because we had an interesting thing with Season 3 where there was a theme going on where they brought back old villains that came back to be redeemed. Even in fact, they introduced a villain and redeemed her in the same episode.
Right.
They streamlined the process at that point.
So I know that everyone is eagerly anticipating the return of Gilda. I think that is a thing that is on the top of people's minds for the season. So we would be happy to have that episode come back, and
I would be too. It'd be
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
We have the full support of the actress, though.
Yes, they know.
totally.
They know. We want to see a singing Gilda too. We want to see a
That'll
singing
be-
and tap dancing
That
Gilda.
would be pretty cool.
Singing and tap dancing
Can you
Gilda.
imagine? She just completely changed her personality.
Right.
Now she tap dances and does balloon animals and sings songs.
I'm so sorry. I was so mean before she doing these.
She would
The
do-
fanfic will be coming. It will be happening. And with the tap
Dancing Gilda is now canon. Yes.
Can you imagine?
Well, thank you so much. This is so much fun
Thank
having
you.
you, Marika.
Thank you. It's nice to talk to you guys. So thanks.
Well, now that we've had a chance to talk, we've had a chance to be in front of the community. Do you have anything to say to the Brony communities who have, even though the Gilda was such a mean person, we want to see the nice Gilda come back. We want to see the nice person. Do you have anything to say to the fans who love your work so much?
Yeah, I do actually. Thank you, really. I think the thing that I think people are starting to understand it more and more, but we can't, I mean, we could act. I certainly could act in my house, but we can't act without an audience. And so people that watch the things that we do, whether it's going to theater or going to the movies or watching TV, cartoons, whatever, I think I can probably speak for everybody, but I'll just speak for myself. I am hugely grateful that people watch stuff, that people come and support and are vocal about the things that they like. I'm very grateful because it's because of you that I get to do what I love. So thanks.
So this Griffin is brought to you by viewers like you.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Marika.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm Joe Stevens.
And I am LTT Moose.
And we're the Equestrian Inquirer for Everfree Network at Las Pegasus Unicon.
Gilda's classy.
Gilda is classy. Gilda's always classy. Once again, I'm Joe Stevens.
And I am LTT Moose.
And we are the Equestrian Inquirer for Everfree Network here at Las Pegasus Unicon. And we have yke Hendrikse with us. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And it's Marika, of course. We have to say
Marika,
Marika.
yep.
Marika. Now, it may look different. It's Marika.
Yeah, there's two incarnations that I accept. One's
okay.
Marika and one's Marika. Marika? No.
No Marika.
No Marika.
Marika.
Is there what nationality does that stand from? Where does that name originate from?
It's Dutch. I've never heard that before. I think that's kind of true.
So you
That's
were in
interesting.
charge of that episode. That was the Gilda. And people
I'm
call
going to
it.
say yes. I was in charge
You
of that
owned
episode. I was
that
completely in charge. I
episode.
directed it.
Yeah, all the credits should have read, yes.
This is my name, no credits.
So
I played all the
we'll
other
go
ponies.
back to that. It's been some years since that show aired.
Absolutely. It was in season 1.
It's in season 1. Now, so back when you were recording, obviously it's a long time before when you record an episode before it actually airs.
Yep.
So the show had not even premiered yet.
Nope.
And so someone
No
comes
idea.
up to you and says, we have this part. It's for a show called My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. What was your reaction to that when you were going to do for that show?
Well, I had done a couple of incarnations of My Little Pony. There's been some DVDs over the years and things like that, so I had been on them before, and also familiar with the franchise from a toy perspective. So when I had the opportunity to audition for a character, I mean, it was something different, obviously, because she's mean,
Right.
a villain, and all that other stuff. So that was kind of cool. But at the time, of course, like you said, it hadn't aired. Nothing had aired. There was no hint of the phenomenon that the show has become.
It's become fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you walk into the recording booth. What kind of preparation did they give you? Did they show you a picture of Gilda, what she was going to look like?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I particularly like playing villains. I mean, I find something that I love in every character that I play, really and truly. And I do like playing, regular girls, kind of good girls or whatever.
Right.
The hero of the show. But I really do like sinking my teeth into a villain.
Sinking
It's fun
into-
now and then to just, sort of cop an attitude just because you can, because you're the bad person.
Totally. And they're always so well written.
Right.
Villains and interesting and funny.
Well, they've said that there's a standard in writing, villains act, heroes react. So it's like the villains who are the ones who are pushing the story forward.
That's what? My mother liked it. My grandfather was Dutch, but no, it was just a coincidence. My mom just liked the name.
So we've got a Dutch Griffin here with us. I don't know if that's necessarily what her characteristic is on the show, but you play the character Gilda, the Griffin,
I
on
do.
the show.
Yep.
And so that's that's one of those characters that has seemed to really resonate with a lot of people. The villains of the show, people love the villains of this show. They're very compelling and they're very interesting characters.
Yeah, you're right. They are, and they're interesting to play.
So do you like playing villains or do you like playing you like playing